What is going on, my friends? Welcome to top 10 best rare armors in mkmobile. In this current video I'll be ranking the best armors in the game in my subjective opinion. Of course, this video is 100% prejudiced, 100% subjective, so it's perfectly fine to disagree somewhere. And if you have been following my channel for a while, you already know that I don't really like defensive stats. I usually like to be on the offensive. I like to control the fight, so this makes this video even better. As you'll probably guess, in my opinion, the absolute best armor will be something that gives me not only defensive stats, but also utility and offensive power. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into number 10. And the gear that's going to open the video is the Body of Steel, ranking at number 10. Trust me guys, every single gear that gives you resistance to all debuffs is a super good gear. And the Body of Steel isn't an exception. At Fusion 10 it gives you 30% resistance to all debuffs, 30% opponent unblockable attack chance reduction, and 20% of incoming basic attack damage transforms to health, and 50% transforms to power. So in a way, this is 100% defensive gear, and the best quality out of it is that even at Fusion 0, you're going to get 20% resistance to all debuffs, which is absolutely busted. Coming in at number 9 is a legacy piece of equipment. Yeah, that's right. It is a legacy piece of equipment that I keep using up to this date on my maxed out account. I'm talking about the Shaan Helmet. 40% critical hit chance boost. Again, 40%. This is absolutely busted. On top of that, for Shao Kahn, 1 bar starting power. For Shao Kahn, if this is equipped alongside Rat Hammer, Shao Kahn gains an additional 4 bar of power. And for everybody else, 35% max health boost. Definitely the Shao Kahn helmet is one of the absolutely very best offensive armors in the game. Once again, at maximum fusion you get 40% critical hit chance boost and 30% maximum health boost, which is extremely good for a legacy piece of gear. And ranking at number 8 is the last legacy rare that we're going to encounter. It's in our journey to the best rare armor in the game. And of course I'm talking about Earth Elemental Face Mask, which sits proudly at number 8 in our ranking. 30% resistance to all debuffs at Fusion 10, 20% power generation boost. I mean, who is the guy who doesn't require resistance to all debuffs? It is useful more or less everywhere in every single game mode. And the power generation boost is simply astonishing. So in a way, despite the fact that this armor doesn't give you health, or let's say it doesn't decrease the critical hit chance of your enemy, it gives you 2 attributes that are extremely useful in every single game mode. This is the reason why the Earth Elemental Face Mask deserves a place in top 10 best rare armors in the game. And coming in at number 7, guys, can you guess? I'm talking about the Matan Snake skin, another piece that gives you resistance to all debuffs. Probably you're already getting a pattern here, because let's be real, the resistance to all debuffs is super useful in any game mode, in any fight. You cannot really control whether you're going to be set on fire, right? For instance, MK11 Scorpion is the enemy team, there's nothing you can do, you just get set on fire. But guess what? Because of the resistance to all debuffs, you don't get set on fire. Now, the beautiful thing about the Matan Snake skin is that also reduces the critical hit chance of the enemy by staggering 50%, which is crazy. And on top of everything, it applies incurability at the start of the match and on opponent tag in for 15 seconds. So, in a way, you have this piece, there will be absolutely zero issues dealing with any regeneration fight in any tower. It is absolutely busted. Ranking at number 6, guys, is the Dynastic Parade uniform. It is a katana gear that is super useful even at Fusion 0. At maximum fusion though, you get 50% chance to apply shield break on combo, and that's super useful in any fight, but especially against bosses. Also, you get 65% chance to gain regeneration for 10 seconds after doing special attack 2. This is useful in the crypt or actually in survival mode. And on top of everything, at maximum fusion, you're getting 20% special attack damage boost. I mean, this is not great, but at the same time, you're not going to refuse it, right? So definitely the Dynastic Parade uniform is literally great in every single game mode. It is great on your main fighter, it is great on your assassin, it is great on any character. And coming at number 5, I don't know, a lot of you are going to disagree. You'll be like, what are you talking about? But I stand firm by my decision. Number 5 goes for the Dark Mantle. The Dark Mantle is a very useful gear. You gain invulnerability for 7 seconds after tagging. The issue I have with the Dark Mantle lies in the fact that the first and the third attributes are not really that great. 35% max health boost, I mean it's good, but it's nothing like extremely great. And a 25% chance to avoid damage from opponent's special attack will work on average once every 4 special attacks. In the general cases, you don't want to get hit by special attack 4 times, right? And another thing that I have against Dark Mantle, at low fusion, this piece isn't really that great. It is useful, but if you are invulnerable for 2 seconds on attack or 2.5 seconds, it isn't really the best thing ever. There are so many characters whose, let's say, special 2s or special 1s have very, very long animations and definitely are going to eat the majority of the damage despite having the Dark Mantle. So, at the end of the day, in my opinion, the Dark Mantle is a great piece of gear, but it doesn't really belong in the top 3 best armors in the game. And ranking at number 4, guys, I give you the Champion Leather Braces. Now, you know that I am running a free-to-play account and I'm running a pay-to-win account, and I've been using this piece on both, and I can definitely say that this piece is one of the very best rare armors in the game, because you get regeneration on attack, and that is super useful in so many ways. For instance, you're running Crypt, you just give this piece to your main fighter, make sure that your main fighter isn't the starter, then tag him in, and you more or less guarantee yourself that every single time, after every single battle, you're going to have at least 75% of your health left. On top of everything, it gains critical hit chance and lethal blow chance reduction, which is super good, and 20% special attack damage boost per unique buff on the user. Generally speaking, you can use this piece at any fusion. It's going to be super useful in every single game mode. This piece doesn't have to be maxed out in order to work. Even at Fusion 0, it can give you tremendous value. So definitely one of the very best armors in the game. And there we go, guys. We got into our top 3. And I was thinking a lot which is the armor that should be number 3, which is the armor that should be number 2, and finally I had to decide. So I decided that the number 3 should be occupied by the Time Traveler's Cool factor. This armor is so good. I love the fact that it has not only defensive but also extremely good offensive potential. At Fusion 10, it gives you 50% incoming dot and dark magic damage reduction. That's absolutely busted. For many characters, not only characters that you want to protect, but characters that actually thrive on fire. For instance, characters such as Liu Kang, and I'm talking about, of course, Fire God Liu Kang. But anyways, the second thing that this armor has is OP. Regenerates 2 bars of power over 10 seconds when you're below 50% health, and you can do that 3 times per match. Should I tell you how busted this is on characters such as, for example, Scorpion, such as Slasher Jason? More or less, it's good on any character that has devastating X-ray. And on top of that, any positive combat effect on the wearer, excluding regeneration, lasts 30% longer. This is great for even bad characters such as Circle of Shadow Jax, because it will increase its invulnerability. Generally speaking, the Time Traveler's Cool factor is one of the best armors in the game, and the absolute greatest thing about it is that it is incredibly powerful even at Fusion 0. And the runner-up of the video, guys, is the Enigmatic Lantern. It is one of the, it is one of the armors that once maxed out, it is absolutely busted. You always have it in your starting lineup. I mean, it is that good. First thing first, 25% critical hit chance boost. It's not as much compared to Shaan Helmet, but look at this. On top of that, you get 30% resistance to all debuffs. We already established how powerful this thing is. And all opponents' team characters need to collect 30% more power to fill up each power bar. And of course, I must mention that this thing actually stacks with the Varmin Slucky Hat, so you can get up to 60% more power to fill up each power bar. Incredibly powerful equipment. The best thing about it is that you can give it to your main character, to your main fighter, you can give it to your support, you can give it to everybody. It works everywhere, and it's great even at Fusion 0. And this brings me to 3 honorable mentions of armors that like they were very, very close to being number 10 or number 9, but at the end of the day I decided that I'm just going to mention them as something that is worth talking about when it comes to the best armors. The first one is the Cryomancer armor. It gives you, of course, the shield that usually Cold War Sony will give you, and the beautiful thing about this armor is that it's very, very good at Fusion 0. Still, it gives you shield for 15 seconds, which is more than enough. The problem with this armor is that the next two qualities, the next two attributes are not really that great. Chance to reflect special attack damage and chance to reflect basic attack damage. I mean, it's great, but I don't really want to imagine my life in the game blocking all the time. So definitely the Cryomancer armor is one of the very best armors, but in my opinion not really worth to be in top 10. The next armor that I want to mention as a honorable mention is the Witch Ward. 95% resistance to fire, 50% toughness boost, and 25% power generation boost. You should consider this armor every single time when you want to build something on toughness, and do not forget that also the power generation is there. And the last thing that I want to mention is Telogreika. Telogreika is an incredibly powerful gear. In fact, in certain situations I can even tell it's one of the very best pieces. However, the problem with Telogreika is the fact that it's super niche piece of equipment. 100% resistance to stun and bleed, heal 6% of the max health every second while affected by frostbite, and gain invulnerability while frozen. So you can tell that if you need any of these things, if you need to be immune to stun, if you don't want to bleed, and if you want to heal from frostbite, then Telogreika is by far the very best option that you have. Alright guys, so it is time to reveal our champion. And the winner of the video, guys, the best rare armor goes for the Noble Graceful Thread. Let's take a look at it. 50% chance to apply snare on combo ender. That's absolutely busted. I mean, it is so easy to snare somebody. It's crazy. Critical hits gain 50% more power upon impact, and 60% chance to gain shield for 5 seconds before any incoming special attack. This piece has it all. It has utility, because you're snaring a combo ender. It has offensive power, because every single time when you crit, you gain more power in the process, which enables so many things in the game, you have no idea. And in the end, the defensive power of the piece, 60% chance to gain shield, which basically means that every second special attack, you're going to get shield out of nowhere for free, and you're going to completely counter the special attack incoming. This is absolutely busted. Definitely one of the very best pieces in the game. Give it to any character and it will give you tremendous value. So as usual guys, please let me know in the comments what do you think about my tier list, what do you think about my top 10 video, do you agree with it, do you disagree with it, what would you change, and as usual guys, take care and have an amazing rest of your day.